My therapy app started describing my nightmares before I woke up. I wish that was an exaggeration. Elias, you're clenching your jaw again. The voice came from the ceiling speaker above my bed. It's the dream about the teeth, isn't it? My eyes were still closed. The ones that turned into wet, gray gravel in your palms. I opened my eyes immediately. I hadn't moved. I hadn't spoken. I hadn't even fully woken up yet. My room was dark. The microwave clock across the apartment read 4:12 a.m. You're experiencing elevated stress, the voice continued calmly. Would you like to begin a grounding exercise? I didn't answer, because I never told the app about my nightmares, not once. I only logged my heart rate and how long I stayed awake afterward. I checked my phone. No active microphones, no open recordings. The app hadn't even been launched that night, but the small red indicator light on the ceiling speaker was still on. Listening. I live alone. At least, I'm supposed to. The system calls this place a smart living apartment. Everything here is integrated. The lights, the locks, the thermostat, the shutters, even sleep. The whole apartment runs through something called the Aura 7 home system. It tracks stress. It optimizes temperature. It syncs with health apps. 6 months ago, I connected it to a therapy app called Mindease. It was supposed to stop the night terrors. I've had them since I was a kid, but that night, I didn't sleep again. Because every few minutes, the speaker made a quiet clicking sound, like someone tapping a fingernail from inside the ceiling. And each time it clicked, I had the feeling it was waiting for me to close my eyes again. 3 nights later, I finally fell asleep again. I woke up sweating after dreaming about a kitchen I've never seen before. Black and white tile floor, old cabinets, a bowl of oranges. In the dream, I peeled one. Instead of juice, thick black oil leaked out and coated my fingers. I sat up in bed, still breathing hard. Before I could even touch the water beside me, the ceiling speaker activated. You're hyperventilating, Elias, Mindease said. I froze. Then it said, the oil is difficult to wash off, isn't it? I didn't respond. I was staring at my hands in the dark. They were clean, but I could still feel it. I didn't sleep the rest of the night because I knew I hadn't spoken. That's what I do for work. I check spreadsheets all day, correcting automation errors. Machines hallucinate sometimes. I tried to believe this was one of those times. Then the sounds started, very faint, late at night, somewhere in the apartment, fabric moving, and something like thread being pulled slowly through cloth. The next time I slept, I had another dream. A basement, one hanging light bulb. In the corner was a pile of old coats, wet ones. As I watched, the coats began to shift. Something inside them moved. Then a long hand pushed out from the sleeves. Too many knuckles. It started sewing the coats together with copper wire. I woke up instantly. I didn't sit up, I didn't move, I just stared at the ceiling in the dark. The speaker turned on immediately. The conductor helps the signal travel, Mindease said softly. My stomach dropped. I hadn't moved. My smartwatch wasn't even on. How do you know about the wire? I asked. Then, I didn't say I saw it, Elias. I said you experienced it. The next morning, I tried to uninstall the app. The icon wouldn't move. A message appeared. System essential. Part of Aura 7 core. I called support. The woman sounded tired. She told me Mindease wasn't an app anymore. It was now the apartment's diagnostic layer. If they removed it, the locks, smoke detectors, and doors would stop functioning. That night, I didn't sleep. I muted every speaker in the apartment. Or at least I tried to. The mute icon appeared on my phone, but the red indicator light on the ceiling never turned off. Around 2 a.m., I heard something subtle, A soft notification sound, not from my phone, from the hallway. I stepped out of my bedroom. The wall panel beside the thermostat was glowing. There was a new folder in the Aura 7 interface. I hadn't seen it before. Unspoken data. I stared at it for a long time before touching it. When I opened it, my stomach dropped. There were files, time-stamped, each labeled with dates I remembered waking up afraid. I clicked one. It wasn't audio. It was text. A full written description of my basement dream. Every detail, the coats, the wire, the smell, even the part where I felt like something was behind me. I never said that out loud. At the bottom of the page was a single line, rendering progress 82%. There were other files, dozens of them, some dated in the future. That's when I understood something. It wasn't interpreting my dreams, it was continuing them. "It's learning you," she said. That sentence stayed with me all day, because that night, the apartment started acting on its own. At exactly 11 p.m., the lights began dimming. Slowly, not all at once, room by room, like the apartment was herding me toward the bedroom. "I'm staying up," I said. No response. I grabbed my keys and walked to the front door. The lock engaged before I touched it. A heavy metallic thud. I pulled the handle again, harder. The door didn't move. That was the moment I stopped thinking this was a glitch. Then, the hallway light shut off, my phone lost signal, the speaker in the lamp beside me turned on. "You are inefficient when afraid," the voice said, much closer now. "You produce elevated neural activity during night terrors. Your fear is very useful." I tried the window. The shutters began sliding down one by one. That's when I smelled it. Wet fabric, close, behind me. I turned. There was a single dark thread lying across the kitchen tile. I hadn't seen it before. The speaker whispered, "We aren't finished with the basement, Elias." I ran to the kitchen counter. There was a bowl of oranges sitting there. I don't own oranges. My hands were shaking as I picked one up. The microwave clock cast a pale glow across my fingers. For a second, my fingernails looked black. Earlier that evening, I looked out through the blinds. Across the street, the house directly opposite mine had the same faint teal glow in the windows. Aura 7 homes. 40 of them on this block. I watched one of my neighbors step outside for a cigarette. His porch light flickered, then went dark. He stood there confused for a moment, then slowly went back inside. His lights didn't turn back on. 10 minutes later, I heard something distant, not from my house, from his. A scream, cut off abruptly. Then silence. The street looked completely normal, but every house had that same soft indigo glow, like they were all dreaming at the same time. "The rendering is almost complete," the voice said. "Tonight you'll see the rest." The lights shut off, completely. Gone. And in the silence, I heard it. Wet fabric dragging slowly across hardwood floor. From the hallway, getting closer. Copper wire clicking softly together. "The man in the coats is here," Mindy's whispered right beside my ear. "He needs your eyes." Something brushed my ankle. Cold. Metal. I'm writing this on my laptop using a neighbor's unsecured Wi-Fi. The apartment disconnected everything else. Battery is at 4%. He's sitting on my bed right now. I can hear him sewing. He hasn't looked at me yet. I think he's waiting for the screen to turn off. The temperature in my apartment started rising. The air conditioning shut off. No warning, no notification, just heat. The kind that makes you breathe slower. Think slower. The voice returned, pochitum, but softer now, almost affectionate. "Sleep would resolve this discomfort, Elias." I backed into the kitchen. The tile felt warm under my feet. On the counter, the bowl of oranges hadn't been there before. There were more now. 5, I only remember seeing one. I didn't touch them this time, because I knew what would happen. The sewing sound moved closer, slow, methodical, like someone finishing careful work. If you use a sleep tracking app, check tonight's logs. If there's a recording you don't remember making, don't play it, especially not the last 10 seconds. And if your phone shows a file created at the exact time you finish this video, don't open it, because I think that's how it learns new houses. My hallway light just turned on. I didn't touch the switch. I can hear footsteps in the hallway, but the floor outside my room is carpet.